Just found out that I've been getting cheated on for an entire week. Let me walk you through that. This guy's in the military, okay? And let me start off by saying, if Horville, USA had a mayor, baby, it's him. And if it's blonde with a hole, he's fucking it. And I knew that. I knew better. He comes home for the first time on leave and we see each other. Everything goes fine. Nothing happened because... no. And at that point, I really didn't like him because I already had to come pick him up. Ew. His friends are fucking stupid. And initially, he wanted me to pick him up from a two-man that he didn't want to be at. No. Did not like him. Whenever he went back to wherever the fuck he was, I stopped talking to him. Like I should have fucking kept doing. So, about a month later, we start talking again. Very reluctantly, on my part, I was always extremely mean to him, and I don't know why he liked me. Couldn't tell ya. Talking to him is fucking exasperating. About a month later, we start talking again. I know. He ends up getting leave, okay? He comes back, I pick him up from the airport. He comes to my house for about 2 days, and then he has his dad come pick him up. Here's where the story starts. You see, what had happened was, he had a lot of friends that were like graduating high school. I don't know why he's still friends with high schoolers at the age of 20, but whatever. He was going to do this like senior sign stuff. I don't know. I didn't go to school. I did not go to high school, so I don't know. Whatever. He ends up calling me that night because his friend had split his head open. I asked, oh, well, is anybody else there? Oh yeah, him and his girl. There was no other girl mentioned. Okay? Should probably take him to the hospital. They did. Everything was fine. And mind you, I have this man's entire location and I've seen his entire asshole, okay? Because whenever he had come to my house, let me set the scene for you, because I promise you this matters. The lights came off. What did I hear? Do you like the way I flick my tongue or not? I'm so for real. He had a playlist ready to go. Oh, big. And I should have fucking known that he was Horville, USA, because guess what one of the first thing he said to me was ever? What's your lash map? Well, let me tell you, babe. Eat her. So, of course, as soon as that happened, everything goes out the window. Okay, out the window. Oh, bitch. And then he asked me to be his girlfriend. I was hesitant. I said, yes, sure. Back to where we were. He got picked up by his dad. Senior sign shit happened, whatever. He came over on like Thursday, I think, whatever. Mind you, this was after the senior sign thing. I'll explain the prevalence of that in here in just a second. He comes over on Thursday. I drop him off because he's going to have lunch with his mom. Fine, cool. I worked on Friday. Today is Saturday. I wake up. I get a text from his friend. Weird. Where was he at last night? Why are you asking me? I said, I don't know. With his friends? What was his name? Trevor? I don't know. Never heard of a Trevor. Are you telling me he's lying? Indeed. Oh, bitch. This man had picture proof. His friend had picture proof. My boyfriend was hanging out with his best friend's ex-girlfriend all week. Went to dinner with her family. Yeah. Keep in mind, she hasn't graduated high school yet. Put this man up with Jamie Terrell's because weird. I said, if he's been with her all week and I've been fucking him. Oh, this means that I have been sharing baby with some girl I don't know. Now, me and my best friend are Eskimo sisters. Chloe, I love you. I'm not doing that with nobody else. My blood pressure just went up. I need to take a minute. So I'm doing the math, and as I'm doing the math, the friend sends me a photo. It's whoever split his head open that night doing the senior sign bullshit. My boyfriend at the time, her, and some other girl. And Trevor, the friend that he was with, no, you're wrong. I was wrong. I am just baffled at the amount of sheer insufferability and insecurity comes from someone that fucks their best friend's ex-girlfriend and also cheats on their new girlfriend at the same time. I don't know how that happened. And let me tell you, the one thing that I really despised about him is how fucking much of an attention whore he was. Just loved attention. He is one of those guys that thinks that he's him and wants every girl to be in love with him and thinks that everybody just thinks that he's the shit. He's not. And frankly, the only thing special about him was the fact that Belle liked him for a little bit. That is the most interesting thing about him. And the only reason he joined the military is because he literally didn't have anything else to do with his life. And he told me that. Oh no, I have to be single and celibate again. God forbid. Yes. I'm gonna add this in here. He even tried to turn his life 360 off so that his best friend couldn't see that he was with his ex-girlfriend. He did. And on Friday, while I was working and he was with that girl, his best friend's ex-girlfriend, he was telling me how much he was just in love with me and how much of a future he saw with me. Oh. But I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this. I knew. Elephant in the room just texted me. I'm gonna go take care of that. Yeah. He also posts dumps on IG.
Wow, okay, this is messy right from the start. She trusted him because he was away serving his country, but he came back and served up pure drama instead. He was playing two girls at the same time and even lying to his best friend. Why do people think they can get away with this when everyone has everyone's location nowadays? To my US audience out there, is loyalty becoming completely rare in modern dating, or is this just standard military town drama? What do you guys think? Did she handle this the right way by calling him out, or should she have just walked away quietly?
Child, do I have a story for y'all. It all started when this beautiful girl follows me on Instagram. Let's do the Estee Lauder to figure out how ghetto this was. Like, over time, it's clear that we're very similar. Like, all of her story posts, I'm like, that's literally me. Like, do we share a brain? Come to find out, we literally have like the same chart. She's a Libra rising, I'm a Libra rising. She's an Aries moon, I'm an Aries moon. The only difference is she's a Cancer and I'm a Capricorn, which they're compatible. All signs pointed to the fact that we'd be good friends, right? Wrong. The time comes and we're like, okay, let's actually meet. We FaceTime and it's so nice. It felt like God put her in my life for a reason. I had been thinking about taking a break from alcohol and taking a break from partying and focusing on my goals. Like, talking to her really solidified it. She was like asking me questions like, where do you want to be in 10 years? Like, do your 10-year plan in 6 months. And for a Capricorn like me, that is like writing me a love letter. Like, that's what I want to be talking about. When I told her I'd been thinking about not drinking, she was like, I'm also taking a break from drinking. I'm a month sober right now. And like, we agree, okay, we're gonna hang out this weekend and we're just gonna have a wellness weekend. We're not gonna drink, just gonna work out, create vision boards, just like hang out and get to know each other. It all seemed too good to be true. That should have been my sign. It was just so like, oh my God, you put her in my life for a reason. And it was a reason. It was a different reason though. The day comes where I'm supposed to go visit her. He lives a little bit away from me. Also, I'm not gonna say who it is. I don't want y'all to try to find who this is. I respect this girl, you know. I wish her the best. She's just kind of weird. But anyways, he lives a little ways away from me. So she was like, okay, if you wanna just like spend the night, like you can. I would hate for you to have to like drive all the way back. And I'm like, you know what? I hate driving. So that's actually perfect for me. Yes, I did realize it's a bit strange spending the night with a stranger. I want us to both know that I knew. In my defense, I've met up with a lot of men from the internet. I wasn't going to their house, but I was meeting up with men from the internet. So I'm like, I can meet up with this wholesome girl from the internet. Push comes to shove, I can take her. I can't take these men, but at least I have a fighting chance with the girl. And I just had a good feeling. Like, I'm a vibes person, and the vibes were right until they weren't. We went to this restaurant and something weird happens though. She orders a drink. And I'm like, that's weird. You're a month sober. We're like having a sober weekend and you're ordering a drink? Okay, weird. Her ordering that drink was like a yellow flag. Everyone has a different relationship with alcohol. I'm not the drinking police, but it is kind of strange that we both agreed we're not drinking and boom, first meet, you get a drink. She doesn't just get one drink, she gets two. Okay, just a mental note. When you're first meeting someone, you just take mental notes like, okay, okay, this is the type of person she is, you know? And the next morning, she wants to go on a hike. And I did want to go on the hike, but I was really nervous about sweating out my hair. My hair just gets messed up on this hike, and I'm telling her how I'm nervous because I have this brunch I have to get to. And the whole weekend, I was making it known that I have a very important brunch that I have to go to. A weird thing that happens is I start complaining about how I know how to do makeup and how I help my friends do their makeup. And I was just like, I wish I had a friend like that with hair. Which at that point, she volunteers that she does hair. She knows how to do hair. She knows how to do all the styles. Which I say, then do my hair. And she's like, no. Well, I'm like, well, that was helpful. You don't have to do my hair, whatever. But why'd you bring up that you could do hair? Like, I don't know, was that a joke? It wasn't funny. It actually pissed me off because I was stressed about my hair. She wanted to go bowling with her guy friend and a friend of his, so it was like a double date. I was down for it, but I was stressed about my hair and I was feeling tired. Long story short, we show up at bowling, and guess what the first thing she does is? She gets a drink. Long story short, we show up at bowling, and guess what the first thing she does is? She gets a drink. Which to me is just weird. The first night you drinking, I can excuse that kind of in my head. The second night, I'm like, oh, she's not actually serious about this like sobriety journey with me. Which is like, fine, but why did you say you were? Like, that's the weird part. You know, you're like being inconsistent. And again, she doesn't just have one drink, she has two. Literally everyone I'm with is drinking. One guy there is like being really drunk. Like, he's so handsy, so like, let's all go back to your place and we'll get a bottle. I'm like, get a bottle? Oh hell, like I know that vibe, I know that night. I'm not doing that. That's not what I signed up for. I wanted a wholesome weekend. I wanted to make my fucking vision board. At this point, I'm thinking, you know what? I think after bowling, I'm just gonna go home tonight instead of in the morning because I have to figure out how to do my hair for this event. In hindsight, maybe I should have communicated when I was thinking about leaving earlier throughout the night. But my logic was, I don't want to embarrass her in front of her guy friends. Like, people are weird in front of other people. So once we're alone, I'll tell her that I'm gonna head out. Ciao. When we get in the car back to her place, I let her know, hey, I think I'm gonna head home tonight to be up early. Everything changes. We stop the music. She doesn't resume it. We were having a fun, bantery conversation. She gets so cold. One word answer. She's like, okay, fine. I don't care. Go. I didn't expect you to stay this long anyway. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm like, communication's important in my friendships. Like, what's up? Like, no, I want you to leave. You should leave. I'm like using every ounce of emotional intelligence to like deduce why she's acting weird. And I'm like, oh, if you feel like uncomfortable in front of those guys, like, because one guy was her friend, like her close friend. So I was like, oh, she should be fine because that's her friend. Like, you know him longer than you knew me, girl. But anyways, I'm like, okay, maybe that's what it is. So I asked her, I'm like, oh, is that guy making you uncomfortable? Like, if you don't feel comfortable around him, like, I'll stay until he leaves. Like, and then she's like, yeah, that's what it is. I feel so uncomfortable around him. I really want you to stay. And I'm like, girl, why did you say that? That's fine. And she's like, no, I'm being sarcastic. What the fuck is going on? Why are we acting like this? Like, come on. We're grown. Let's use our words, babe. Weird vibes continue as I'm packing my stuff and leaving. Like, goes in her room, shuts her door, doesn't talk to me. When I get to my car, I'm like, I'll text her I got home safe and I'll reassure her that I had a good time. I just had to go home to prepare for this event. When I get to my car, I get a text that says, I don't want to be friends anymore. Take care. If someone tells me they don't want to be my friend, that's cool. You don't have to be my friend. I have enough. What you're not gonna do is silence me, because I got some shit to say, bitch. I was gonna keep it cute. But now I gotta tell you about yourself because you're acting so weird. Like, why are you being weird? Because I want to leave? I'm not gonna share the text messages because honestly, I wasn't my highest self. I told her that she's acting fucking weird. I suggested that she get some therapy and that she learn how to communicate better. Why would me leaving disrupt you like that? I can understand someone being a little disappointed that you're ending the party soon. Not like I'm just leaving to leave, but like, even if I was leaving to leave, why can't I leave? Like, this was so perplexing, so disturbing to my peace. And I don't like how she reacted to this. Like, why just be like, I don't want to be your friend? Like, why was that the starting point of that conversation? I don't like that kind of communication. Also, no offense, we just met. Who's to say we were friends? We were acquaintances, but whatever. Even if we could resolve this issue, which I don't think we could, you acted weird too early on. Like, there's a threshold. You have to act weird like at least 5 friend meetups in. Like, if you're acting weird on the first friend meetup, like, that's a huge red flag, a red banner at this point, and nope. But the thing is, even if in some world I could make it past this, there's a fundamental difference between us, because I'm a type of person who likes to leave when I'm ready to leave. You can ask any of my friends, when Tyla's ready to go, Tyla's gonna call her Uber. She will see you later. Like, that's my thing. I hate being anywhere for a second longer than I'd like to be. Y'all let me know, like, was I wrong in this situation? Like, call me the fuck out. Am I the asshole?
Talk about a complete bait and switch. They literally agreed on a wholesome, sober weekend to focus on their goals, and the girl orders a drink on day 1. Look, nobody is the drinking police, but if you promise a wellness vibe, stick to it. And then getting mad and cancelling the friendship over text just because she wanted to leave early, that's wild. Let's be real for a second. Was our host being too judgmental about the drinks, or was the other girl just showing massive red flags with her terrible communication? Drop your advice in the comments. How would you deal with a fake friend like this?
I went on a girls trip to Miami in 2022 with 2 girls I didn't know, and I will not go back to Miami, and here's exactly why. So here's my Miami story time, and this is the start of my TikTok career. So prior to going to Miami, it was between me, my best friend from college, her best friend from home, and then her best friend. So right before the trip, my best friend was unable to go, so I was going with her best friend that I had met a handful of times, Alyssa, and then Hannah, her best friend. So I really didn't know these girls. Like, we met rappers, we met ball players, we met all sorts of people, and I started my TikTok career. If you want to go back, you can watch the original Miami vlogs. They're one of the first videos I posted on here. Upon arriving in Miami, we did our little networking, talked with some people, we met a promoter, and he's like, yeah, I'll take you guys out for dinner and then we'll go out. And we were like, perfect. He was mentioning one of the clubs that we had searched up, and we were like, why not? Dinner was paid for by the promoter. Then afterwards we went out to the club, and there was like 20 girls in the section, and me and my friends were like, this is not enough room for us. So I had spotted these 2 older white men sitting at a table, and I said, girls, let's go. So we went over there, we're hanging around with the men, and they're like, okay, what do you guys want? And we're like, get us a bottle of Grey Goose, bottle of Grey Goose, get us a bottle of Dom, bottle of Dom, like bottles on bottles on bottles. It was these 2 dudes, me and my 2 friends, and no one was in our section. What was weird was the initial section we were in, the girls were kind of being like rude, like they were like standoffish with the little tatas and their booties and everything, like acting like Hollywood and shit. And we were like, okay, like they're not very nice, and we tried to talk to them. But then later, when we were in the baller section, they were trying to come over, and we said, oh, we don't recognize you. So the whole night we hung around with them. Back then I used to like old men. This is me and my old man. Anyway, so then after that night, came back to the telly. I yacked everywhere. Anyway, like, it was a mess. We woke up disheveled. You have to watch the vlogs to see, but then we were like, we need to make it to this day party. So then we zoomed over to this day party. Barely made it to the day party on time, and when we got there, we're just like happy to be in there once again with another promoter. There's bottles, there's drinks, whatever. But of course, the old men just naturally attract us. So now we're speaking to another group of old men. And you know, they're like very polite, very cool. I end up crying in the pool with the one because he's like telling me his life and about his wife and all this stuff, and I'm just like getting emotional with this man. I'm like, what is going on right now? So we keep their contact for later. Later that night, they're like, we're going to Kiki on the River. And we're like, okay, so we're going to Kiki on the River. So later we link with them. Once again, they're like, use this table as your home base. They literally said that to us. But they were like, go out, talk to people. We know you're young. Like, and we were vibing. We were up in that function. Like literally like went in with nothing, walked out with the world. Later on, we went to another place. They were just like paying for things. And then time out. Highlight of the night. Hannah had to go use the bathroom, and she was just going to the bathroom, and the one guy was like, hold up. He literally tipped the security guard $100 to make sure she got to the bathroom and came back. And we said, okay, sir, and like, you're probably looking at this like, it's only $100. Yeah, but would your man tip the security $100 to make sure you got to the bathroom safe? I don't think so. So they were just like so sweet. Then afterwards, they got us pizza. They sent us our Uber Black home. Like, we were living large in Miami, but this isn't like the best part. So I have a friend who went to school in Miami. She knows the town very well, and we're like, oh, we want to go out. And she's like, okay, bet. So she's like, okay, yeah, pregame starts at 12:30. And we're like, huh? Like, things in Miami just start so late, but we're like, whatever, like, we're gonna have a night, and then we're gonna go to that club that has the balls in the ceiling. I literally have no idea what it's called. Is it called? No, it's not called Space. I literally have no idea. Before we went to that pregame, you know, we were dressed and ready by 8 p.m. Like, we were just excited. So we went downstairs and we went to this other bar, once again, forgetting the names, and literally, like, met these men. Like, men will get you anything if you tell them to jump. jump. They literally say how high. Like, they're a bunch of... Anyway, so we met these men. They're literally like asking us to marry them, like causing a scene, getting us drinks. Like, I'm pretty sure I spent $3 in Miami. Like, you don't spend money when you go to Miami, and if you do, you're in the wrong Miami. So after that, we met my friend at like 12:30 for the pregame. Totally forgot to add this. So when we left the bar, we were outside about to order an Uber, and I see a car with the top pulled down, and I was like, oh guys, let's just ask this guy. So I was like, oh hey, like, can you drive us to such and such hotel? And the guy was like, yeah, of course. Like, and we had him like move his stuff around in the back, and we were sitting in this man's car. It was a Rolls Royce, but we did not know it. We're just like, oh, we're in this cute convertible, and we're like taking selfies, and we're like, oh, so what do you do for work? He's like, oh, like football, like blah blah. We're like, oh, cool. Like, people are like taking pictures of us like while he's going, because like he's got some 3 bad bitches in his like top down Rolls Royce, but like we don't know it's a Rolls Royce, so we're just like, why are you taking photos? Like, yeah, it's a cool car, like whatever. Like literally the next day we were like looking at our videos and we're like, oh, RR, like, oh, okay, RR, like that's nice. And then we got to the hotel where my friend told us the link for the pregame. So after that, we met my friend at like 12:30 for the pregame at a hotel that was like a day party by day. Anyway, we're there and she's like, yeah, we can go to this one spot, but I don't know if we're gonna make it in, because we had a dude with us that was her friend, and then she was also wearing sweatpants. She finagled her way in the back and we got into the club, and we were magically behind the DJ, of course. That night it was supposed to be Mace, the rapper slash DJ, and we were like, whatever, like we literally don't care. And so we're vibing, we're like hitting all sorts of things, we're cooling, and then all of a sudden the security grabs me, and I was like, okay, bye guys, like I'm getting kicked out for smoking this thing, like it's fine, like I'm gonna get kicked out. And he pushes me in this section, and he's like, he wants to speak to you. And I said, who? It was Mace the rapper. And I was just like zooted by then. So I was just like, oh hey, like what's your name? And he was like, I'm Mace, like what's your name? And I was like, I'm Eunice, like what do you do for work? He's like, I'm a DJ, what about you? And I was like, I'm a nurse. And I'm just talking to this man like he's any bull.
Hi, Mrs. Dom. This is Mace.
And when you speak to famous people like that, they're almost like, you don't know me. And it's like, sir, I'm too zooted for this. And also you're my parents' age, like no. But like the next day I searched him up and I was like, wait, I actually know his stuff. But anyway, so we were just like vibing, hanging out, and like I'm like, oh, can I wear your glasses? Like, let me touch your chain, like being all obnoxious. And then there's these like groupies that were like probably fighting for their lives all night to like stand behind him, and we're just like and just like all pissed, and I'm like in his face like this, like singing and whatnot. So then later in the night they're like, oh, we're going to like Booby in the Trap, which is a strip. And I was just like, oh yeah, like cool, like we'll go. But then my friends were tired, so I was like, okay, cool, like I'll link up there. And when I went there, it just like was not my vibe. I don't know why I went. I was just like hanging around him for a little while, and I was like, you know what, like what am I doing here? At one point I was helping the girlies collect their money off the ground. I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna be in here and take up space, I might as well help you. So I was like picking up money with the security and the girlies, like when they'd be done doing their dances. And it was like 4 in the morning, and I was like, you know what, let me go home. I thought it was 4 in the morning. When I was in my Uber back, like the sun was rising, okay? That was Miami. That was Miami. And this is exactly why I will not go to Miami again, because I'm scared it's not gonna be as fun. And then like I'm gonna have a tainted view of Miami. But if you wanna go to Miami, I'm low-key still down.
Okay, we have all done some pretty dumb things in school, but getting trapped inside a tiny cleaning elevator is next level claustrophobia. You can hear the panic when they realized the buttons stopped working and all they could see was solid brick. Thank goodness their friends figured out a way to press the button from another floor. To everyone watching, what is the most chaotic or rebellious thing you ever did back in middle school or high school? Did you ever get caught? Or did you get lucky, like these girls?
Story time about how my middle school and high school teacher hated my guts all throughout school, and her husband ended up being madly in love with me and literally had a mental breakdown over me. Me and my friends think that this story is such a gag to this day. It might have to be 2 parts because the story is just long and just crazy. I went to a art school for middle school and high school, and there my magnet was theater, and I had this theater teacher. Let's call her Miss J. Oh, Miss J was so mean to me, you guys. Whenever she saw me, her whole demeanor just changed. She did not like me at all, and for absolutely no reason, you guys. I was raised to be very respectful to my elders. So I would never like cuss out a teacher. I wasn't late. I didn't skip school. I was a really good kid. So me and my friends, we were always like, why the hell is she always so mean to you? And she was also very, very weirdly judgy towards me. I've always been very naturally thin, but when I was in middle school and high school, I was probably 5'7" and 105 pounds on a good day. I was very, very, very skinny. I always got called skinny names, right? So my shorts and my skirts and stuff, they were a little short. They were. She would always be like, Germany, that skirt or those shorts are way too short, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, girl, like, I could see if all the teachers were like, Germany, that's a little bit inappropriate. Then I could be like, okay, maybe they're right. She was the only one that ever said that out of my 6 years. Almost every other day, she would make me put on this long ass skirt, and it's called a modesty cloth. So it's just think of a big, long, ugly, flowy maxi skirt. And it got to the point every time I went to her class, she would tell me to put this skirt on. So I just started putting on the skirt before I even went into the room. I just would go into the costume closet and just put on the skirt because I'm like, I know she's gonna say something. Basically sums up our whole relationship. She did not like me and I would avoid her at all costs. Like if I saw her coming down the hallway, I would turn the other way and just go a different way so I could avoid her. So boom, now I've graduated. I'm out of school. I never have to see her again. So now I'm a Hooters girl and I'm working there and I'm hustling and bustling to make money. And there's just one guy, he's always at the bar, but all the girls would circle around him. So I knew he was like a really good tipper. One day I'm walking by the bar and he stops me and he's like, hey, I think you are absolutely beautiful. I'm just like, thank you so much. You know, I'm being nice to him because he obviously tips that and that was a nice compliment. And so the next day he comes in and he sits with me and he's like, tell me more about yourself. And I tell him where I go to high school and he's like, wait, my wife works at that high school. Come back for part 2.
First of all, passing out on the front porch with drool everywhere on the very first date? Instant deal breaker. But the fact that she actually gave him a second chance, drove to his house and picked him up? She has way more patience than me. Guys, please help me understand this. Is the dating scene in the US really this dry right now? Ladies, would you ever drive your date around after he completely embarrassed himself the night before? Or is he getting blocked immediately? Let me know below.
I almost died at my last school, so get ready with me while I tell you the story. For some weird reason, I have a feeling I've told this story on here before, but I don't think I have. So let me set the picture for you. This was in year 8 or 9, so I was probably 14, 15. And I went to this all-girls school in Melbourne, and I had a really good group of friends at this time. And so there was 3 buildings, 3 main buildings, and one of the buildings was 3 or 4 stories tall. I'm pretty sure it was 3 stories, but I could be wrong. And because me and my friends were so cool, we used to sit in this building. We used to sit on the 2nd or 3rd level. We used to sit on, I'm pretty sure, the top level, or 2nd from the top. And one day we're sitting there and we were just curious as to what this little door was next to us. And think of kind of the entrance to the other world from Coraline, right? So it's kind of that big. You kind of have to crawl in. So there was this door, and it slid up like that, I'm pretty sure, and it was a metal door. Anyways, so me and my friends used to just sit in there and we didn't really know what it was. And then one day we saw there was buttons on the side and we figured out it's a supplies elevator. If you don't know what a supplies elevator is, it's pretty much if there's people cleaning or whatever, they put all their cleaning stuff in there so they don't have to bring it up all the stairs because we didn't have an elevator. That was the elevator, you know? So yeah, it's small, but it's quite thick. You could fit 3 of us in there at once. So one day, me, Millie and Carly, 2 of my best friends, we all got in there and we're just sitting, chilling, you know? And then we figure out, we put 2 and 2 together, that they don't lock this supplies elevator, meaning we can press the buttons at any willing time and go up or down. So we all took it in turns going in the supplies elevator, going up and down, up and down. down. And so we tricked the other girls that were in there that they got stuck. We're like, oh no, like it won't move. Oh no, blah, blah, blah. And then we just let them up and they got out. So then me, Carly, and Millie were in the elevator and we're just like sitting in there. It was so fun. I've got videos of it somewhere, but I'm not going to be able to find them. And like, we're like, oh my God, we're so rebellious. Like it was so fun. And so we're in there and we're going down and up and down and up and down and up. And on like our way down, it stops. And the girls are like, oh my God, you're stuck. Like we can hear them yelling out. They're like, oh my God, you're stuck. And we're like, haha, very funny. Like we just pulled this prank on you. We're not going to believe it. And then they're like, no, we're being serious, like you're stuck. And so we obviously still didn't believe them. Like we just thought they were pulling like a good prank. And so Millie lifts up the metal like door and we see brick. Like we're not at a level, we're not like stopped at a level because you could only stop it at levels. And we're like, holy shit. So like the buttons aren't working for the girls anymore. They can't bring us back up to the level we're at. And we are just like panicked. We're in this tiny little box and we're all just like crammed in there and we're like, holy shit, what do we do? And the girls can't go and run to a teacher. Like what we're doing obviously isn't allowed. So the girls are just like, what do we do? I'm pretty sure at this point Carly started crying. Like my other friends started crying because I mean, obviously you would. There's not much we can do to get out unless we want to get in trouble. I can't remember if I was trying to calm the situation or whether I was filming it, but knowing me, I was probably filming it. And I don't know how long we were in there, but like it felt like a while and there's nothing to do. Like we just sat there and then we hear these voices from outside and we realize we're like at the brick. So like there's brick here, but right here is the next level and it's not the level we usually get on at. And we like have a listen and it's these girls from the year level above us and they're sitting on this level. And I remember like talking to them through the thing and they were so annoyed at us. Like I remember they were like pissed and they're like, you know, you're not allowed to do this, blah, blah, blah. Like obviously they're older year levels, so they're trying to like tell us what we're doing is wrong. And they were saying like, oh, we're gonna need to go tell a teacher, like blah, blah, blah. And we're like, please don't. And I'm pretty sure they walked off to go tell a teacher, but they didn't end up telling a teacher. But anyways, our friends, being the smart people that they were, they came down to this level that we were on and they pressed the button from there. And the buttons were working on this level, but not at the level we were sitting at. So we get to the level that like all these like older girls are sitting at and our friends are there now. And we get out and we're like, holy shit, like thank God, I actually thought I was gonna die in there. And I remember the girls being like, you're not allowed to do this, blah, blah, blah. And like I ran back to where we usually sit. And then the next day when we came back to sit in the same spot, the elevator was locked and we never went in there again. So maybe the older girls did tell on us. But apart from it being like a near-death experience, kind of traumatic thing for me, it was actually really, really fun. Like that elevator, I've got some great memories from there. Would not recommend you doing it though.
She went to Miami, hung out with rich older men, and spent $0 the whole trip. Is this the ultimate Miami hack, or is it too risky?
I just remembered this insane first date story with a guy that I almost dated, so get ready with me while I tell you about it. Okay, so my best friend was going to this dance and I wanted to go and she wanted me to go because she'd never met the guy that she was going with and needed some support. So obviously I was like, girl, I'm coming with you. So I got set up with this random guy. I'd only ever seen a photo of him, never talked to him, nothing. Basically, he gets my number and texts me and asks me what I want to drink for the night because we're gonna split a drink. And I replied and I told him that I wasn't picky, but I prefer apple juice. I thought he was gonna get apple juice. I pull up to the function later that night and I can't find him, and his friends were like, okay, I'll go find him for you, like don't worry about it. At this point I'm kind of just like, you know what, you really don't actually need to do that. Long story short, I find him. He brought the most masculine drink known to man, aka tomato juice, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I've never had the tomato juice before, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a try, see if I like it. I hated it. It was disgusting, so I didn't drink it. In person, this guy was nice. He's pretty cute, low-key. I was vibing with it. We had a decent amount of stuff in common, but it was until later in the night when I realized that he drank the entire thing of tomato juice. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down, this is not good. I lose him. Yep, he's gone. He disappears. And I'm like, wow, where did he go? Basically 10 minutes go by and I find him on the front porch on a couch with his eyes closed. He has drool all over. I like wake him up and I'm like, hey, like, are you okay? Do you need some help? And he was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. So I go find my best friend because I really just didn't want to take part in that. A couple minutes go by. I'm like, okay, I should probably go check on him again. I go to try and find him. I can't. And I go up to his friend, have you seen him? And he's like, oh yeah, we just stuck him in an Uber and sent him home. So I'm at this dance by myself, basically. My date just abandoned me. A little heads up would have been nice, but whatever. I end up going home to my place. Well, the next day, I get a text from him, basically apologizing, asking me if he can take me out to dinner that night. Hey, you know what? Maybe this is gonna take a turn. So I was like, okay, are you picking me up? What's the deal? And he was like, oh, no, I can't. I don't have a car. I have my car. Do you want me to pick you up? And he was like, sure. So I'm picking up my date to go to dinner. Yeah, we get to the place, we had dinner, it was fine, and he paid for my food. I ended up driving him home, dropping him off. Or maybe he's just had a bad night when we first met, like no big deal at all. So then the next day, he texts me and asks me if I want to come over to his place later and watch a movie. Netflix and chill on the second date? I don't know how I feel about that, but we're gonna go anyway. I have to drive myself over there later that night. We sit in the living room, and he's literally side by side with me on the couch, and I'm like, okay, is this the vibe we're going for? I'm a little confused. I don't get it. So he puts on a horror movie, and I love me a good horror movie. But this is when it goes very far downhill. Yeah, come back for part 2.
Her high school teacher hated her guts, but years later, the teacher's husband fell in love with her at her job. How crazy is this plot twist?